Okay, so been more than a couple requests to make more drug videos. Uh, Problem is I'm running out of drug videos. I've been pretty good lately. I haven't really partied too hard, but I'm trying to reflect. Somebody jarred my memory about making a video about ecstasy or MDMA, and I don't quite recall making one about that. So here it is. I'm not real familiar with ecstasy or MDMA. I have done it multiple times, but see, here's the problem with ecstasy and MDMA is it's a chemical that they can put on anything, kind of like LSD. It usually is taken in pill form. Now, I've seen it in powder and I've seen it in liquid. So it's just a chemical, and so a lot of people that sell, and I'd say the majority of people that sell what they would call ecstasy or MDMA, it's not. It's bullshit. It's a fucking sweet tart or aspirin or whatever, with who knows what on it. The first, I'd say 3 or 4 times I tried ecstasy or so-called MDMA, it was from 3 or 4 different people, right? So it wasn't the same guy that just kept ripping me off. No, I mean it ranged from pill to powder form, and I think 1 or 2 of those times it was bunk, and the other times it got you high, but it wasn't MDMA or ecstasy. But if you've never done MDMA or ecstasy, you don't know what to expect. The last time I did ecstasy before, or what I thought was ecstasy before I actually did real ecstasy or real MDMA, was it was in pill form. I took it and I tripped balls, but it was a hit of acid. And LSD I'm very familiar with. I knew right away that this isn't, I don't know what this is, but I can tell you what it's not. It's not MDMA. It was it was LSD. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So you kind of got to be careful doing that drug, because there are ways to test it, I guess, if you go and like buy a chemical kit like the cops have and test it for these properties. But who the fuck's gonna do that? You just want to get high, whatever. You're not gonna buy this fucking $300 kit, test out your drugs. And I don't know, when I sold drugs, somebody busted out a kit and like started sampling my drugs. Like, dude, get the fuck out of here. But anyway, I've experienced real MDMA and real ecstasy on a few occasions. Not that often. I haven't done it that much, what I would consider to be real MDMA or real ecstasy. But when you do get real MDMA and real ecstasy, it is fucking awesome. It's fucking awesome. It's in my top 2 or 3 favorite drugs. Problem is finding real MDMA and ecstasy. It's a very hard drug to describe. It's kind of like trying to describe LSD. You pretty much have to just do it. You just got to do it. There's really no way to describe it. It has some hallucinogenic properties, kind of like mushrooms or LSD or mescaline. That it does. You wet the whistle. Oh, an ask for a cigarette and shit. That it does have, but it does have some hallucinogenic properties. Of course, it all depends on how much you take, right? And then again, when you're doing MDMA or ecstasy, just like any drug, it depends on how much you take, right? So you could do like pure MDMA, but if you don't take enough, you're not going to get the same effects. Nasty. I'm broke this week. I had to buy the shitty wine. Alright, well, I'm just going to break it down to this. My best MDMA ecstasy experience was this. I was at a dance club. What the fuck was that place called? This is a while ago, like almost 10 years ago. Not quite that long ago, but probably 7-8 years ago. Oh, it's called Anderson's Fifth Estate. Anderson's Fifth Estate in Scottsdale, Arizona. And they had their goth industrial night, and that's when we'd always go. And a bunch of us scored some like real ecstasy, and I had never done real ecstasy before this. The pill form, took it. First, my stomach felt sick. It was like kind of queasy, but I was also drinking heavily, and those two drugs don't seem to mix very good. Most hallucinogens don't mix well with alcohol. And I don't recommend mixing with weed unless you're like a professional, because that like pushes it to intensifies it, usually in a negative way. But hey, you know, if that's what you like. At this club, dancing, couple girls, couple dudes, having a good time. We all drop some meat. Oh, and by the way, if you're paying more than like $20 a hit for it, you're getting ripped off. I can get it for 10 now here. I just don't do it anymore because, well, I've done enough drugs to kill about 5 elephants, so I think I'm like, you know, gonna retire and keep it on the down low, keep it on the cool track for a little bit. But for those of you that are young and so inclined, yeah, 10 to 20 bucks is going rate. And if you're not high as fuck, then you got bunk shit. But as the story goes, long story short, which I'm making a short story long, is we drop this ecstasy. We're at this club. We're dancing. I start to feel sick. I go in the bathroom and I puke. Okay? You know, I didn't know. I was drinking heavily. It could have been the drinking and the dancing and stuff. You know, it's hot in there and shit. It's fucking Phoenix, Arizona. Scottsdale, Arizona, same difference. Well, I get out and I like start to trip balls. I'm starting to like everything. All the colors are bright. And shit's like moving around and pulsating and shit. You know, I'm like, all right. The music's loud and like, like all of a sudden, like every time like the bass kicks in, like do do do. It's like my body reacted to it. It was like the nerve endings off my pleasure sensors were like stretching out to it. Do do do. Weird. Like that was a really weird experience. I've heard of this on LSD, but I've never experienced this on LSD. But no, it was weird. It was like I could feel my environment. All the hair stuck up on me. I was in like a very like touchy-feely, sensual mode. It was a state of euphoria. Like, you know, all my problems did not matter. All that I was focused on is this feeling, this fixation on the here and now, what I was going through. And it was fucking awesome. Now, if I could experience that again, I would. Unfortunately, like I said, it's hard to find real MDMA and real ecstasy. But if you can, and you experience that, that's what it is. Oh, it was awesome. My buddy, we all dropped at the same time. Only the 2 guys got sick, but I think we were drinking more than the girls. My buddy, who's a dude, like 10 minutes later after I went and puked, he like came out of the bathroom. He's like, dude, I just puked, but I'm so fucking high. And he had this weird black sweater on. It was like a sweater. And it's hard to explain. I know this sounds like I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about, but no. I saw the sweater before I was drunk or how. No, it was like, it's a black sweater and he had this like TV, like outline of a TV, and it had like some like symbol on it. I don't remember exactly, but it was a TV, but it was like in velvet, right? The sweater was like wool or cotton, but the impression was a TV, and it was in velvet. And the guy came out and was like, he's like rubbing his, well, the TV's on his chest, so you know, you gotta point that out. He's like rubbing his chest. He's like, dude, you gotta feel this. This is awesome. Feel this, man. You wanna go dance? Yeah, I mean, he was feeling it too, man. I was like, yeah. But it was a very cool experience. I would highly recommend it to try it to somebody who's never tried it. But just again, be warned. I would say 75% of shit that is called ecstasy or MDMA is bunk. It's bullshit. It's false. You know, and it might get you high, but it's a trial and error thing. And when you find what real ecstasy is, you will know it. But if you've never done it and you don't have a lot of references, other drugs that you've done, you know, like I can say like, oh, this is cut with speed. Oh, this isn't ecstasy. This is a pill. So somebody put a hit of LSD on. I know that because I've done all these drugs. So I'm just cautioning you. You know, like I'd be careful. You know, and unfortunately, there's very little ways to test it before you buy it, except for eating it, which I've always done, and well, I've always come out okay, except for like this nervous tick. Oh, there it goes. But other than that, I mean, ecstasy's great.